looking mighty fine. As you can see, got the rims done. They're painted. Center caps are on. Got some tire juice on them. Went through with the steel wool and I scrubbed on it. Got some mismatched paint, but it's been painted before. But came out really nice. I mean, just clean. You know, minus the obviously the rust spots. Everything else came out pretty decent. Unfortunately, as I was planning on bringing this thing to the car show tomorrow down in Escanaba, I can't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's not because it's anything of my doing, but it is because as I was sitting here driving it around yesterday, I noticed that the vibration is starting to get worse and worse and worse in it. At first I thought it was tires, but nope. Coming to find out that there is the carrier bearing right there on the axle, and that is very loose and it's causing a massive vibration when I go down the road, which is not fun, not good. But considering that's shot my car show plans for tomorrow with it, doesn't mean I'm not going. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going without something. Detail the car, but got it all washed, and I forgot I didn't do the engine compartment yet. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the engine compartment and what I do to detail it. So in the last videos you saw me pressure wash all of basically this hot shine out of the engine compartment, and pretty much all I do is I use this on the tires and I use it on the engine compartment, anything plastic. And yeah, I haven't pressure washed it in probably a couple of years, so it's kind of satisfying. Pressure washer basically takes all the dirt and grime off that sticks to this stuff, but let me show you how I get in there right now. So as you can see, it's kind of dusty. The alternator looks like it's getting some funny stuff on it. Just dusty. But what I do to really make it pop and shine is before you wash it, I just go through and, like I said, take the tire spray and I just soak everything. Headers, not the B, battery, inside the headlights, radiator, just everywhere. Kind of like you would be degreasing it. And don't worry about getting it on your paint. That's why you're supposed to do this before you wash it. Fans. Yeah, good for the electrical connections. So just when you get through spraying it everywhere, I mean, you can even do underneath the hood if you really want to, but I'm not going to today. Firewall, just kind of get everything. Make it all look decent. And then don't do another thing yet. just let it sit there. Stop yelling at me. Let it sit. So I usually let that sit, go through, wash the car, dry it off, and when the car is drying, I'll either take like an old terry cloth, something, or I'll wait to the very end when I do the rims too and the wheels, and I'll pop the hood back open. Stuff enough time at that point is sat, and I kind of just go through, wipe down the excess. For the chrome, they'll probably need to be cleaned up a little bit, wiped down, maybe take some window cleaner and wipe those down, but that's all I do, and it keeps it nice and shiny and clean and looking factory fresh. And then when it gets all gummy, nasty after, I don't know, I think I've been doing that for 3 or 4 years before I just pressure washed it this spring. Take a pressure wash to it, and all the gum and grime and everything will just blow apart off of there, because that sealer's underneath it, and the sealer kind of acts as a barrier between the paint and the grime, and then it collects all the other stuff, and then when you pressure wash it out, it just takes care of it. So I'm gonna let this sit. I'm gonna get back to the time lapse and basically rewashing the car again really quick, and then dry. There she is, all nice and shiny. You can see I still got some water spots on here. For those who don't know, the yellow rag that I was using to wipe this down after I washed it, that's what they call a chamois cloth, and it's to get all these water spots off, I should say. So you got little water spots on there, on the paint, and that's all you do is you take it and you wipe them off. Just basically towel drying the car essentially with a chamois cloth, kind of a rubbery type squeegee, and it doesn't scratch the paint. So kind of nice. If you miss any little dirt spots or anything like that, you can pick those up, clean them out, get inside your grill area really nice and neat, but it does not leave water spots, which is nice. You can see some on the windshield there, maybe. And you can even go back after them and wipe them down, and that's actually on the inside, so good thing I'm going to wipe the glass down from the inside too. But anyway, if anyone's ever had the 95.6 B-body with the mirrors right here, just a little pro tip for you. If you ever notice, you always get that little drip down from right there. No matter how many times you whoop whoop, wipe it, get it cleaned up, it keeps coming back. Well, these mirrors are designed when you flip them in, you're on the other end anyway, it will drain them out. So make sure you flip them in before you start drying. It'll drain out all the water and you won't have those dripping issues. Pro tip, something picked up over the years. Oh yeah, there's a big one going down right there. So yeah, that's kind of how I go through and detail up washing a car. A couple of those steps you guys saw me do. Don't ever use like Dawn dish soap. You can if you're in a pinch, or like that's what I use on the Suburban, but I was also using a SOS Brillo pad to scratch down some of the stuff, so I wanted to get the dirt and grime off of it. But anything that's base coat, clear coat, don't use Dawn dish soap. Man up and actually buy the car wash stuff. You can usually find it at one of the parts stores on clearance or on sale. $9-10, Walmart has it. I've had these two now for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, and you don't need very much when you wash it. I'm always washing the car, so just get the actual car wash stuff. Second thing, invest in a good wash mitt. Don't use those stupid sponges. They don't really work that well. The mitts are where they last. They flip inside out or whatever, but I don't ever stick my hand inside of them. As you saw, wash through them. But before you get going, before you mix your soap, take your bucket, spray it out, make sure there's no dirt in there. Dump the soap in, mix your water. Before you put the mitt in, spray it out, get all the dirt and grime and debris out. If you do that before and after you wash, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get dirt chunks in there. What happens when you get those little dirt chunks that are stuck in there and you're going over your paint, next thing you know, you go dry it off and you got a big scratch in your paint. Ask me how I know. So I just told you. But, so I found over the years that I just quick rinse it out and I don't have an issue. I always save the rims for the last thing, or anything like the lower rockers or anything. This time I just kind of went through because I knew they were pretty clean. But if they're really dirty and grimy, I always want to wait till the end and do like the lower rocker panels or where there's ever mud or anything towards the end. That way you're not taking that dirt, collecting it, wiping it on top of the car when you're doing that. Same thing with the rims. I saved the rims towards the end, and that's when I rinsed it out again before I went back and hit the fenders where we sprayed the tire shine for the engine compartment. So those are my tips. Take them for what they're worth. I've been washing cars like this now for close to 20 years, an Impala specifically. So, and they always turn out pretty damn nice. So I'm gonna stick to it. But so yeah. So another thing I'll do when it's starting to air dry out is I walk around the car, I don't know, probably 10 times at least, and just find the little drips, find the little dry down water spots, and while the chamois still wet, I just go through and I wipe them down, and that way you can make sure you get a pretty darn good clean car, because you never know what you miss. Like right there where I sprayed, got the tire shine stuff. I don't like doing it, but Shamey's going to wipe it up right now. Same thing, apparently I missed underneath the wipers. But anyways, if you miss anything, you can always go through and get it, clean it up. I did notice that on the back window here, there's a bit of overspray. I don't know if you can see that or not. Kind of grayish. Back when I did some body work on this thing, I probably was in a rush and missed it because it kind of looks like it's a tape line, like right there, because that side was the one where I got work on it. Oh look, there's a fresh scratch right there. I bet it was from dirt. Anyway, I'm going to take some steel wool and I'm going to steel wool the windows because they kind of feel grimy and gross, and they got a couple years of Rain-X on them and everything else, so get some of them dirt chunks off. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that up. And if you've never done it before, don't be afraid to do it. Don't think it's gonna scratch your glass or anything. Just be gingerly about it. Go for it. Don't really tear it up. I will say, when you get the pads, make sure to just get the ones that don't have the junk in them, the soap. Like I got a box of them that I bought for the Suburban because they were cheaper. They had the soap in them. These kind, you can buy with or without. For the paint, with the patina. With the paint on that, doing the linseed oil, I was already scrubbing it. Like I mentioned, I had Dawn dish soap, and I just went to town with the soles work. But if you're just cleaning windows on a car that you're cleaning windows on, use steel wool. It doesn't have any soap in it. Typically, get you in on how I'm going to do this one. So typically, after I wash it, I'll take my good old spray cleaner, spray away, glass cleaner, spray some on there, take the steel wool and just steel wool it, get it on there. I mean, you can see it's obviously drying really quickly, but what this does is, as I mentioned, it takes away those little spots, pulls up dirt, gets it down to bare glass again, gets any residual wax or anything you might have on there off of it. Then you can go through, take your wipe and some more spray away and wash your windows on the outside. Reapply Rain-X if you choose. But yeah. So right now I'm going to get this thing out of the sun, pull it back in the garage, do a couple of these little detail things. Hopefully it will. So right now I'm going to go ahead, pull the car back in the garage, and actually I'm probably going to go take it for a spin around the block. That way all the water gets out of the wheels and everything flies out. So I can put my tire shine on the wheels and clean the rims. I'm going to pull it back in the garage though. That way I can get it out of the sun, do those windshield, rear window, all the windows with the steel wool, and let the body cool off, and then probably apply a coat of ceramic coating on there. Haven't done it this year. Probably is a good time to do it. And I will show you how to go through and do that. One thing I didn't mention, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. One thing I didn't mention was, whenever you put that stuff on your headers, that spray stuff, it's gonna get hot. And when it gets hot, it's going to smoke, burn off. So just FYI that's what it's doing, and not flip out or anything like that, because it's going to do that. Obviously if it catches on fire, yikes. But I've never had it catch on fire. I just had it burn off. It's kind of like a thin coating on there. So, which reminds me, when I get in there too, I'm gonna steel wool those headers because they got that rust on them and everything else. So yeah, be back in a minute when I'm back in the garage. All right, she's back in the garage now. Here we are. I went through and I took, I got some more right there. Well, that'll come off with the window cleaner. Took my steel wool and I steel wooled each of the side windows and the back window. I did not do the windshield. And now I'm just going through with the spray away, loading it up on there, just taking paper towel, shop towels, and wiping the windows down just to make sure I didn't miss any, which I could see. I already got some speckles still on there that I'm gonna have to come back to, but it's not bad. Better than what it was. So just going through, wiping down all the windows, and I just did them really quick. The side windows didn't need them, but I figured I'm doing it, so why not? Because I'm OCD like that, and those little things tend to burn in the back of my brain. Why, you ask? I don't know. I like detailing the piss out of my car, I guess. That'd be my guess. Anyways, so just going back and forth, getting it all cleaned up. Of course, Cookie's back outside next door. Great. Just what I want to listen to. But at least I'm in here and she's outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and then get after the ceramic coating. Okay, after I've gone through, steel wooled everything, I do a quick once over with the chamois to make sure there's no spots dripping. Grill had some water drippage still in the front. I still see a little bit right there, but oh well. I take my blower wand to the compressor, just kind of over. Make sure you're wearing your hearing protection. These things are loud and they will destroy your hearing. But just want to go through, make sure there's no dust. I got some pollen blowing around through the garage here today, but I'll get that off. If you get any little steel wool pieces that you missed when you were cleaning off the windshield, it'll get that off in the cracks and crevices, and you will have a clean surface to apply ceramic coating. So I'm going to go through and do this really quick and be right back. So I like to use this turtle wax ceramic coating stuff and a couple terry cloths. It's pretty simple to apply. You spray it on, goes a long way. You want to shake it well. 2 sprays per panel, which I kind of cheat for the hood, bigger car, but it does go a long way. So for the hood, you want to work in little sections. I usually break it up, half the hood, do like from the front to about the middle and over, work that little section, do the back, and then I'll start the fenders, go up the door, down to the trunk and back, and then I usually finish that way. Just work in small little spots and you'll get it done. You will notice it will smear. Let it dry. Just follow the directions. If you don't use turtle wax, use the other stuff. You can also use, and I have the Carrubba wax. I have that. Meguiar's is usually pretty good. It doesn't give the same protection as ceramic coating from what I found, and it's a lot more work to put on that. So I'm going to do a time lapse and go through and get this done. Well, are you looking? I'm looking. Turned out pretty nice. I'm gonna go through, you can see there's a smear spot right there. Go through, get a couple of those. But before I do, I was gonna show you how this looked. I don't know, it's pretty shiny. You know, the 200 and some odd thousand miles that the car has on it. Turn 8. Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that spray back out. I'm gonna spray the wheels. So I forgot I had this stuff. I don't have much of it, but I remembered I liked this a little bit better for the tires because it kept them shinier for a little bit longer. So I think it didn't gum up my rims as bad, if I remember correctly. Anyways, there's not much left. So we're gonna use it, shake it up. Oh yeah, the pattern's a little bit nicer on it. Kind of just go at it. Smells nicer too. It smells like the car wash soap. Cherry flavor. Yeah, that's what I like to use. It's kind of like painted on there. I am going to show you a little trick that I do as well. Here, I'll get these done and then I'll show you that. So if you get back to your hot shine stuff that you sprayed in the engine compartment, I like to take it and spray it inside the fender wells. I probably should paint it, but I'm being lazy. So just a couple quick sprays in your wheel well, and it darkens it up just like the engine compartment. So if anyone looks under there, checks it out, they're like, oh, it looks pretty good, blah, 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 blah. But you're actually just hiding stuff. So I like to do that. Works on if you got hitches or whatever else too. But you gotta be careful because you might have seen I got speckles on my paint there now, so I'm gonna have to come back and take care of. Remember I told you let it sit? Well, good, because this is what it looks like when it sits. Pretty much soaks into what you need to. You're gonna get water dripping off of it, but whatever. Soaks into the black, makes it look nice and shiny. So like what I'll do is I'll just take a dirty rag and get like the excess off of there, get some of that dirt grime off of where the seal meets. I did notice the hood is loose, and I don't know why. I think it's missing probably on the back side here. Yep. broken. So I gotta put some kind of a tapper into that. I don't know, something. Oh, it's a nut. Yeah, I'll find one of those nuts, throw it in there. Great. But anyway, so you'll get one of your ragadoos. Just kind of wipe it down, clean it up. All your flat spots. Spots here, the edge of the fender and where the radiator support all meets. Shines it up like that. And yeah, I kind of just do a quick once over, make sure the stickers look decent. There's no excess pooling on anything. Just kind of and looks good. I will say, I have had, it soaks this rubber and it gets slippery, and I've had this pipe fall apart. Not fall apart, but it pops out of this socket. So therefore the airflow doesn't work, mass airflow sensor, and it decides to go and not run. So that's fun on the side of the road when you hit a bump and that pops off, but I fixed it. I took it apart, cleaned it up with some brake clean. It's fine. So go through, clean this all up, top your headlights. So those are all good to go. And any place that you missed, it's going to be well oiled up and it's going to look fine. So if you don't want any dirt or anything on it, you just clean it up and it shines it up like that. So I'm going to get after this and then I will show you the after. Well, alright, I got it all wiped down. About 20-30 minutes of elbow grease. Kind of know the hot spots, highlights that I like to get. Just do see anything dirty, wipe it down, top of the bumper, top of the headlights, battery, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of the after. Went through, did some of the hood, but I got tired of doing it, so I stopped. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Shiny. Probably could do more, but to be honest, not going to. I'm gonna get these rims, do the same thing, just quick wipe down with the same rag that I used for the engine compartment, and vacuum it out. Probably call it good. Getting late in the day, and just kind of ready to be done for the day. So that's it. If you liked the video, comment, questions, I'll answer them.